Well, welcome, friends, back to ISV Talks. I'm Carol Livingston, the owner of Dynamics Connections and your host of ISV Talks. And on this episode, I have Fawaz Hussein from Nodus. Hey, Fawaz, welcome
Hello,
back.
Carol.
I know we chatted a while ago, but some things have happened at Nodus, so I thought it might be good to get together, get an update, find out what's the latest and greatest from you. So thanks for joining.
Well, thanks for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
All right. Well, you probably should introduce yourself for the audience again and tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with Notice, and yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Carol. Again, a pleasure being here. Always pleasure speaking with you. My name is Fawaz Hussein. I'm with a company called Nodus Technologies. We're a division, a part of a bigger organization called Global Payments. We specialize in payment processing AR automation tools that seamlessly integrate with various ERPs. We started our journey 20 plus years ago with Microsoft,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that's when, Carol, we used to work very closely with you at that time, earlier in the early Microsoft days.
Mm-hmm.
And we started expanding since from there. Now, as a result, we are in Microsoft, we do Sage, Acumatica, SAP, and Oracle.
Wow. So, what's the description of your products for maybe start with the Dynamics ERP and then maybe other ERPs that you work with?
So what we have done is we created a cloud-based payment engine called PayFabric, and that's essentially our go-to-market name. So our product is called PayFabric Receivables. It helps you with all aspects of receivables automation, basically a secure, easy way to collect payments efficiently from your customers.
Okay.
Now, see, when it comes to payments, as you can imagine, incoming payments, that's what accounts receivables is. It's a hard line for any business. So a lot of business owners keep a very close eye on that because it impacts your cash flow, right? Like delayed payments.
Great.
There is a KPI that a lot of business owners follow is called DSO, Days Sales Outstanding. Basically, what
Mhm.
that means is that the average number of days it takes from the time you complete the sale to the time you collect payment, right? If you're in a brick
Right.
and mortar type of environment, you sell something at a store, you get collect payment right away. But in a B2B world, payment terms is quite common. You essentially give your customers option to, pay now, buy now, pay later, or have 30, net 30, net 60, and whatnot, right? But
Right.
oftentimes, payments get delayed, and companies end up spending a lot of time and resources in collecting those payments from those customers. That's where the whole AR automation comes in. So what we have done is we have created this line of this solution that has uh, features that allow you to not only securely take payments from your customers, you can process payments directly within your ERP, or you can even set up a portal, a customer portal that enables customers to go online and make payments on their own. So this way you can easily have a customer go in, make a payment, those payments get integrated back into your accounting system and just make it easier for your customers to pay. And the easier you're going to make, the better you're going to see the faster you're going to collect your payments. So that's
Right.
basically what we do.
Yeah. So, accelerating cash flow is what I'm hearing.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
I feel like a lot of people focus on the automating other business functions, but why not AR and getting paid faster? It totally makes sense. So you said you're compatible with other ERPs. Let's talk about which ones, and maybe specifically I'm interested in Acumatica because I know a lot of partners are also in Acumatica space.
Yes, so definitely. So again, we in 2001 is when we started our journey with Microsoft Dynamics, Great Plains at that time. Great Plains, actually 2001 is probably a little before Great Plains was Microsoft. So when it was Great Plains, then it became Microsoft acquired it, became GP. Then we started covering all the legacy on-prem Microsoft Dynamics versions, as well as all the cloud ones, the Dynamics 365 ones, such as Business Centrals, Finance, Sales, Field Service. Outside of Microsoft, then we started expanding. Acumatica is something that we built on our own. So although we've been in Acumatica for a little over 2 years now, but the solution
Okay.
that we bring to Acumatica is a same pay fabric that's been around for over 2 decades. So it's a very proven, very solid solution. That's why it's very successful on the Acumatica space as well. On the Sage side, what we did is we actually acquired a company that was similar to us, who's been around for more than 20 years, North 49. And that's how we got into Sage Intact. And that's basically
Okay.
how we did in SAP as well. We acquired a company that's been around for more than 20 years, and that's how we got into SAP. So basically, with a combination of either self-development or through acquisition, that's how we got into all these ERPs, and now we service all of them.
Well, and so you're not new to Acumatica or any of those other spaces since you've had a couple years under your belt. How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. As I said, that specifically talking about Acumatica. So two things. One, I did mention that the solution that we bring to Acumatica is not a new solution. It's been around. It has shown a lot of success on the
Mhm.
Microsoft side.
Right.
Secondly, as you mentioned, there are so many partners that we had overlap. So we have very, very, very good group of loyal partners who love endorsing our solution on the Microsoft side, and they happen to also play in the Acumatica space, which worked out really well for
Yeah.
us. And then obviously, then as more partners learn about our solution, then we're making new friends along the way.
Which isn't hard to do, right? The Acumatica space, pretty friendly group. So
100%.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's kind of your unique features? Like what makes you, special and gives you that competitive edge?
Good question, Carol. I would say that if you ask me, like, what's one thing that makes us stand out is
Mhm.
essentially, I would say number one thing is that we're an all-inclusive payment provider. What does that mean? So in a world of payments, as you can imagine, there are multiple layers. So if you want to take payments from your customers, so obviously you need a software that allows you to do that. Then that software connects to a payment gateway, which connects to a processor, which communicates with interchange like MasterCard, Visa to process. As you can see, that there could be a lot of layers in between in order for you to complete your payment cycle. The more layers you add, the more complexity you add, and not to mention more fees. So it becomes really expensive. Since I did mention earlier, we're part of a company called Global Payments. Global Payments is, if not the largest, one of the largest payment providers
Mhm.
globally. We don't have to work with any third party. It's all, we made our own solution. We have our own gateway. We have our own processor. Everything is in-house. We do everything in-house.
Right.
What are the benefits? The benefit is that if our partner needs help, like with payment processing, troubleshooting something, they only have one number to call, which is us. And that's, I would say, would lead me to our second value proposition is our customer service. We're very proud of it. We have everything under one roof. So if you call with an issue, regardless which layer the problem arises, whether it's on the software layer, whether it's on the processing side, we can troubleshoot that, we can fix that, we can get you up and running in no time. When it comes to payments, trust me when I say this, when it comes to payments, business owners have a very low threshold of patience. They want to get their payment system up and running as quickly
Right.
as possible.
Like yesterday.
Exactly. It's not like your printer is out, okay, we can
Yeah.
wait. After your internet down, payments is probably the second most important things.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I say that that's probably our another big differentiator. Then PCI compliance is also something really important to
Mm.
us. What is PCI compliance? Is security. When it comes to payments, security is the most important thing, I would say. There's so many data breaches that happen. There's so many, we hear about companies getting their data compromised. Having a PCI compliant solution that has been certified by PCI DSS, has been approved, endorsed by Visa, MasterCard, that's the most important thing. We are
Yeah.
listed on both Visa and MasterCard's website as an endorsed certified solution. So bringing a PCI compliant solution to our customers and partners. And our product team won't launch anything until and unless it goes through the PCI certification. It's that
Mhm.
important. So I would say that would
Mhm.
be another big value proposition that we have.
Yeah. Well, and I like that you're part of a bigger organization, right? Because you can offer all of that under one umbrella or one house, and you don't get this, right? Like, I feel like when you have troubleshooting issues, well, no, that's the payment gateway, or no, that's the software. Who do you go to? And so, no matter what, it sounds like you guys kind of help bridge that gap across all those different areas.
Exactly. And that's one of the biggest, but very important thing, Carol. We get this feedback a lot from partners that one of the big challenge is that in a typical ISV solution, when you rely on third parties, either for development or support or partnerships, well, unless and until you have every party on the phone together on a conference call bridge, you can't really troubleshoot and narrow down what the point is. Everybody just points finger at each other.
Yeah.
So that is an important feedback that we get from our partners.
Yeah. That makes sense, and it's great that you guys can provide that with being the largest payment organization in the world.
Well, we
So,
still operate. We're still we operate in a very human size. We still
yep,
operate, as you can see, like in a group that we have dedicated account managers and team members who have been here for a very long time, and I've been here for over 15 years. So we have a good tenure here.
yeah, you started when you were 12.
Right? California's underage working laws were pretty loose.
So, well, and that's great, but, how do you compete against out of the box functionality? I know ERP publishers will add functionality or like, how do you compete with that?
Listen, Carol, I mean, I don't think there's a competition per se. So here's the thing. If you look at the marketplace, right? A marketplace has literally pretty much everything, all these ISV solutions out there that enhances the capability of these ERPs, right? Um,
Right.
a lot of these things can be done out of the box, but why do customers choose to use those apps? Because they want subject matter expertise, SMEs to handle that. Think of it like
Mhm.
it's the same example as your cell phone, for example, right? I mean, we buy our basic cell phone, but then it has an app that we download all these apps, so it enhances the functionality of our phone. Likewise, the ERP has this wealth library of this massive library of all these apps that enhances these capabilities. Now, to answer your question, like in payments term, like as a subject matter expert, right? So we're payment expert. I talked about how we don't have to, we're processing our own payments. We're not working with any third parties. We're staying up to
Right.
date with all the compliance regulations, PCI. It is very difficult to do all that unless and until that's all you do. It's very difficult. And none of these ERPs that do offers payments out of the box are processing on their own. They are partnering up with some third party. So now you're just
Yeah.
adding a layer of
Yeah.
complexity to the equation. So that's, I would say, would be the big difference. All these ISVs are here to enhance the capability.
Right, and enhance the ERP system, and, I feel like publishers will add a feature like that because maybe they've heard feedback that that would be nice to have, but they check a box, right? They don't have
Well,
all the full features, they don't have the expertise, they kinda like, "Yes, we can do it," is the answer, but maybe not to the extent most businesses or organizations need.
yeah, you're 100% right. For most of the time, it's for the purpose of checking a box because
Yeah.
ERPs
Yeah.
compete with other ERPs, right? So if you want to
Yeah.
compete with other ERPs, the more boxes you check, the better
Yeah.
chances of winning. But then once you start using the solution, then you realize that, okay, well, I mean, this ERP does have all these apps that can help me do this better.
Mhm. Or if they're coming from another ERP that already has Nodus, for example, and they move or migrate to another platform, it's great that you guys are there.
100%. That's definitely,
Yeah.
actually, that's a pretty good point. That's definitely one of the trends that I've noticed that partners do prefer solutions that has cross ERP compatibility for
Right.
that purpose. For that
Mhm.
purpose.
Yeah, I've noticed that too in conversations I've had with partners as well. So speaking of the channel, what changes or trends have you seen in the last several years? I mean, a lot of partners, have changed, customers or demands or requests are changing. What's happening? What do you think?
Well, first, that it's getting so much bigger now. It's so many more people. There are a lot more partners, and obviously, there's a lot more ISVs out there.
Yeah,
It's not the old convergence days that you and I used to go to 20 years ago, right? 15 years ago. But I would say in terms of trend, let's address the most popular one, AI. Everybody's talking about AI. AI is
they
emerging.
are.
Uh, any conference that you go to, like Microsoft will talk about Copilot and Salesforce will talk about Einstein. Everyone is talking about their AI. A lot of third parties, a lot of ISVs are embedding AI in their products. So I would say that that's probably one of the most commonly taught and the buzzword.
Mhm.
Obviously, we saw emergence of cloud. Every single ERP has initiative of migrating from on-prem versions to the cloud versions.
Right.
So cloud is a huge deal. You and I
Yeah.
talk on many panels about cloud together, so we know this. Also, I've seen that a lot more apps, it's a good thing and a bad thing. So I'll address both, right? So one is that because of cloud, it's becoming very easy to build an application. And there are a lot of tools that makes it even easier. Like there are a lot of power apps, or even I think somebody was doing a demonstration the other day. You can literally write a code using AI now. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
you don't need like a computer science degrees anymore. So, but the problem is this though, because of that, there are a lot of apps on the App Store now that may not be qualified to be on the App Store. Anybody makes an app,
Yeah.
publish it up there, right? I will talk about payments since that's my background. So payments, one of the biggest things I did mention is security. Getting PCI compliance certification on your application is very challenging, very demanding. It's not easy. It's not.
Mhm.
And so that's something that, you see that I mean, I can easily use AI to write a code and make an app very quickly using these amazing tools and publish it. But then I'm not meeting any of the PCI regulations. I'm not meeting even maybe any of the ERP standards. So I would say that's a negative part. But the positive part is that partners are also becoming more and more aware of this. They're keeping an eye on these certifications, but
Mhm.
also publishers like ERPs are also now finally becoming more and more particular about who are they going to let in. Like Acumatica, for example. Acumatica is incredibly strict now. Who are they going to let in within their ecosystem? And they also announced recently that they're going to take any app that's not certified by Acumatica, they're going to take it down. They'll give you an opportunity to go ahead and go through the process of certification. Let's see if you make it. But very soon you will see that publishers like ERP publishers are becoming more and more cautious about these apps.
Yeah, and there's a lot of challenges that come with, just picking a vendor off of app source and not knowing if they can really do what they say they can do. Maybe they have a couple customers or maybe they're out, a different time zone or different language.
That's
Lot.
actually a really important thing that you just mentioned too right now. And I mean, with a lot of apps too, like I've come across many apps, ISVs, who literally just use like an outsourcing company, paid them a flat fee to build their app. But then obviously as a result, you don't have a support. And even if you do, it's not in US time zone. So it becomes really, really challenging to keep
Mhm.
track of all that.
I definitely hear you. So let's talk about a customer that you've worked with and how you've helped them be successful with Nodus.
Oh, there's so many customers. Now, obviously, like for sake of their privacy, I'm not going to say names, but I'll give
Okay.
you an example. So, we have done studies lately that we've seen a significant improvement on DSOs after implementation. Again, DSO, day sales outstanding, meaning that companies
Right.
have started collecting payments on time, faster, quicker than they were doing that when they were not using an automated automation solution. But one part that I would say is important is there was a client that we were working with that does a very large amount of volume every month, but they sell
Mhm.
specifically to government agencies. So one of the requirements they had was they needed to find a payment partner that passes level 2, level 3 data. What is level 2, level 3 data? Level 2, level 3 data is additional data on an invoice. So level 1 is, we have all seen on our credit card statement, right? Level
Yeah.
1 is just the amount and the total, right? Level 2 data comes a little bit more like your PO number, invoice number, and level 3 data is line item details. Like for example, right?
Oh,
Like if you go to Macy's, although Macy's don't do level 2, level 3, just as an example, you buy that sweater and a shirt, you can say $50 for the sweater, $50 for the shirt, $100, right? Whatever, right?
right.
But on the credit card statement, it will actually say level 2, level 3, all the line item details. If you, otherwise, right now when we buy, it just says Macy's $100. So
Right.
why was this important for government agencies? Because they're tracking where these government issued credit cards were being used. In order to pass that data, you have to write a pretty complex mapping in the back end, meaning that
Right.
data needs to go from the actual ERP, be submit through all the channels that I talked about for payment processing, go through the interchange, and end up on a customer's credit card statement, right? You
Right.
can only do this successfully if you have a visibility on the entire pipe, on the entire stream. If you don't, if you're using third parties, it's nearly impossible. So this company specifically went to many, many, many payment providers, even who claim to do level 2, level 3. They found out that a lot of these companies that say they do level 2, level 3, they were putting fake data just to qualify the requirement. They weren't actually mapping
Oh,
it out.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
because another benefit is that when you do provide level 2, level 3, you get discount because Visa, MasterCard consider this as a secure transaction. So you get a discount, right? So a lot
Mhm.
of companies, they just put, a lot of these payment companies will put fake data in there just so you can get a discount. You can tell the customer, hey, look at this. I do level 2, level 3 savings. That's what they say. But this
Mm.
company doesn't want savings. Like, no, I do business with government. I need to have that data on the statement. So they came to us and we were able to do that. And the partner told us that the only reason why we were able to do that is because we were not working with any third parties. We were end-to-end solution, and that's how we were able to successfully do it. They were really happy about it. So I would say that is probably a prime example of a customer who needed a very solid integration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then pass through that additional detail from the ERP too. I mean, that's no small integration.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
well, what are some of the new things that Notice and Pay Fabric is looking to introduce to the market?
Ooh, a lot of new things coming up on the horizon, Carol. As I mentioned that we're part of Global Payments now.
Right.
Um, we've been for almost 2 years now, well, year and a half, I would say. Global Payments is investing in this business and making it, helping us expand, so which is amazing. We're gonna start expanding. You'll see a lot more product features revolving around AI and a lot more enhancements. We will also see like doing businesses, outside of US, Canada, that are typical markets. We have also started expanding our product line too. We just recently launched our new product for Sage. It's essentially our embedded payment processing, which allows you to process
Okay.
payments inside of Sage. So yeah, I mean, I would say that stay tuned. There are a lot of new features coming from our side.
That's exciting. Yeah, and doing business outside of the US, not all partners ask me about that, but it does come up because, people work across US and Canada, so North America, maybe Mexico, or, even internationally, just a lot of needs that they don't think to ask. So it's good that you guys are expanding to other locations. So, kind of just changing gears a bit here. I kind of like to pick your brain, just see what changes have you seen. Maybe give me an update since we talked last year about just changes in the channel. What observations are you seeing or hearing from the partners?
I would say that one of the biggest change that we've been noticing in the channel. So there's been a lot of consolidation of partners, a lot of partners that got merged into the business. I have also seen a lot of partners who used to do one ERP only now also stepping into or dipping toes into other ERP waters. So landscape is definitely evolving.
a lot of partners doing multiple ERPs, right? Whether it's all within the Dynamics product line or Dynamics plus another ERP for sure.
Correct, absolutely. There's so many like incentives now for partners to go on the Dynamics Plus route, and why not? And what with that, what they're also, I think, looking into is more and more solutions that are faster to implement, like a lot more
Mm,
cloud-based solution, right? Remember, like
yeah.
10 years ago, like implementations were. I remember like when we would send our proposal, we would also send hardware server requirements and all that. A lot of that is change. I mean, partners want something that's easy, quick,
Yeah.
turnkey, fast to go because I've noticed what a lot of partners are doing now. They're focusing more on selling, and that is the behavior that's being driven by the ERP publisher themselves. ERP
Mm,
publishers are adding a layer in between partners and customers. Some call it system integrators, some call it service partners. The idea is that it's going to be you sell and then rely on someone to figure out on implementation, walk through the implementation while you go sell something, another one. You keep focusing on selling, right? So though
right.
it's a race, it's a game. There's a lot of competition for even for ERPs too. So the idea is that like let's do quick sell, fast implementation, and least amount of headaches, least number of third parties. I've also noticed that a lot of partners have created their own vetting process too. There's so many ISVs to choose from.
Oh, there are.
And like we just talked about it, like it's not difficult to build a solution anymore,
Yeah.
but it is very difficult to build the right solution. So partners are becoming a lot more cautious of things like
Hmm.
making sure that they have certifications, like for payments, making sure that they have PCI certifications. Even
Yeah.
marketplace partners have told us many times that they don't work with ISVs, they don't want to work with ISVs that don't have an app in the marketplace. 100% agree with them. Some marketplace, some ERPs are notorious for letting everybody come in, but then there's some marketplace who essentially are now becoming extremely strict that, hey, we're going to take anybody who's not certified
Yeah.
and take them down.
Mhm.
I'm very glad that ERPs are doing that. And I'm also glad that partners are also taking it seriously. Those are, I think, some of the high level changes that I think I see that's
Yeah.
happening in the channel.
Yeah. And then the vetting process, Sage Intact, when I was a consultant back in the day, they kind of said they worked with best of breed. So you knew that when Intact said, this is our ISV solution for X, you knew that they work closely with them. If there's integration work and development work, they collaborate, right? So you kind of knew that. Yeah, when the marketplace or app stores or app source or whichever marketplace you go to, depending on the ERP, there's so many. How do you
Yes,
narrow it down? And I find a lot of partners are creating their own kind of go-to list of ISVs they work with.
absolutely, 100%.
So, any perspective about the marketplace? What's changing? What do you see in the future and the horizon?
Like I said, I mean, again, I did talk about it that AI is definitely a trend. So see a lot more of
Yeah.
that. In payments world, AI plays a good role in predictive payments and whatnot. Even ERPs like, we talked about it, Microsoft has been showcasing Copilot very proudly and rightfully
Mhm.
so. They should do that. In the payments world specifically, because I mean that's my area of expertise, I would say that obviously AI is a trend. Alternate payment methods is becoming a big trend now. What
Okay.
are alternate payment methods? Is like essentially like paying using Google Pay or Apple Pay, things like that. Things like buy now, pay later type of things. Field payments are becoming big and more popular. Ability to integrate payments into your field service devices, whether it's a
Right.
device, whether it's Microsoft Field
Yeah.
Service. I would say that obviously, like people are happy. I briefly talked about in a customer case study, like level two, level three, people have been talking about those mainly because of cost saving, which is again nothing
Right.
wrong with that. But also it's becoming a business case too, because like I said, that right
Mhm.
now, one example I can think of on top of my head is like government issued credit cards. If you want to process them, you should be able to. you must be able to provide level 2, level 3 data. So, but then again, everyone else is saying that, hey, if I'm saving money, so why shouldn't I do that? With speaking of saving money, another part I would say that that's becoming more popular is also surcharging capabilities too. Yeah, so I mean, although Visa, MasterCard don't like that because they think that it discourages people from using credit cards, but there are ways to do it, and it's not an easy process. It's a process you have to go through. But the point is that there's a lot more. The demand of credit card usage is going high. So with that, companies
Mhm.
are watching their costs. They're like, hey, if we can have me legally do surcharge, that would be awesome. So we've been getting a lot of we've been working on a lot of surcharge projects lately. Like a lot of our customers are asking for
Oh,
it. So
okay.
it's been pretty popular among our customers as well.
Yeah, that makes
Those,
sense.
yeah,
Mhm.
future, I think that's basically what I see where the payments trend is heading.
Yeah, and I know you guys have things like payment portals and links on invoices so that people can click a kind of one-time link and be able to, pay an invoice. So it's a lot more options to pay
Yeah.
the way that people want to.
Correct. So, I mean, that kind of ties into security, right? Here's the thing, like we are transitioning into a very hybrid workforce model, meaning that
Yeah.
you can work from anywhere. Now, imagine an accountant or somebody in the accounting team working remotely or working from home. Even if it's office, they don't even have to work from home, even in the office. Taking payment over the phone is not safe, especially if you're working from home. So having a functionality where you can just send a text message from an ERP to collect payment number, payment information and process it and have that be integrated into ERP is
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, we've had this product for a while, but during pandemic, it skyrocketed and its skill is really, really popular.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. You don't want processing happening from someone's bedroom or
Yes.
kitchen.
You don't have to write on a notepad anymore.
Yeah, and I like what you said about field service. I do feel like there's a lot more deskless workers, a lot more mobile apps. So, and people want to pay like they do on the consumer side, right? So why not for business too?
Well, also because, I mean, business owner, you're a business owner, you know that it's easy to track payments, it's easy to collect, it's faster collection, checks bounce, credit cards don't bounce. And it also is faster money in your pocket. It's more
Yeah,
guaranteed, fast, it's convenient. And again, there you can process checks electronically too, and we do that as well. We provide that service too.
yeah,
But I would say that even for us, like we prefer to use credit cards because
yeah,
points benefits and reconciliation. This is so much easy to manage
right.
financials.
Yeah. So definitely. Well, I guess just in conclusion, Fawaz, and thanks for giving us all the updates, what's going on at Nodus and with global payments in Heartland. Let's not forget Heartland. Is there one kind of primary or main reason that you're seeing customers and partners come talk to you guys?
Obviously, our name, our reputation, we've been in the channel for so
Yeah.
long and a very good reputation, I would say that. I mean, and the credit doesn't go to me, it goes to our customer service and engineering team. So it's the other partners endorsement that essentially makes us easy to do business even in the areas where we are new at. But in terms of if you talk about the technology side, um, you
Great.
know, we're seeing a lot more focus on streamlining your cash flow or reducing your DSOs, meaning like essentially businesses are some people believe we're in recession, some people think we're about to go to recession. Either way, companies, businesses are concerned about making sure that their payments are collected are on time so their cash flow is not disrupted. So we're getting a lot of requests because of, I think, the AR automation trend. I mean, I think I've talked about, but just a recap, us being an all-inclusive provider, us being in the business for so long, having solutions like PayLink, which we just talked about, collecting payments through text messages, having
Yeah.
solutions that allows you to process credit cards and ACH and do surcharge that helps you just expedite those collection process or automate for that
Yeah.
matter. I think these are some of the reasons, some of the key features that tracks partners towards our solution.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you, Fawaz. And Fawaz, I'm so excited that we're about to go to Dynamics Con Live in Denver, Colorado here in a couple weeks. And I'm looking forward to speaking with you on our panel that we're doing together.
100%, Carol. I love sharing stage with you, and Tiffany and Bob. I can't wait
Uh,
for our next session in Denver.
May 13th through the 16th, and our session is on May 15th.
Awesome. Looking forward
All
to
right.
it.
Me too. So thank you, Fawaz, for joining this episode of ISV Talks. It was great to get the updates of what's going on at Nodus. And if you could share a bit about how to reach you, I would appreciate that.
Absolutely. So you can reach us at sales@nodus.com. It's sales@nodus.com. Or if you like, you can email me directly at fawaz.hussain@globalpay.com. My name is spelled FAUWAZ Hussain HUSSAIN at globalpay.com. And you can also visit our website, nodus.com.
Easy, easy peasy. Well, thank you, Fawaz, for being a special guest today on our episode of ISV Talks. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at Dynamics Con Live in Denver, Colorado. And it'll be fun to see you and to be part of the panel that we're doing together. So thank you, friends, for joining this episode of ISV Talks, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.